Hey, all you ghoulish gourmets. Hey, Kathy. Thank you for saying cool intro. Actually, I did figure out what is the official name of the little skull guy I have at the beginning with the deadites on deck. That is called an intro logo. So I guess it's a combination of things. It's not one or the other. It's just a combination. But um, I am here today to make Deliverance squeal like pigs in a blanket. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this one, despite the material that this is based on. Um, so Jay came up with the idea. Hey, Phil. Jay came up with the idea of Deliverance squeal like pigs in a blanket. And then, so I had to come up with a recipe for pigs in a blanket. And I actually picked one from the Pioneer Woman. Um, and I believe I've got the link to that recipe in the site in case you guys want to go out and make it on your own. So this wasn't a recipe I completely came up with on my own. The idea came from Jay, and then I just kind of went from there. So, what do we need for this particular recipe? Well, first of all, and the reason why I still have this in the refrigerator is because we didn't want it to get too warm and tacky when we were going to work with it. So we have just Pillsbury crescent roll. This is an 8-ounce can. You don't have to use Pillsbury. If you want to use the store brand, that is perfectly fine. But I'm going to put it back in the refrigerator till we get ready to actually get started with that. We also need a 14 ounce, or in my case, I accidentally got a 12-ounce package, and I'm going to turn on the haunted food cam here to be able to show you guys this easily. This is just Kroger brand beef smokies. Now you can get, put that under the camera better. You can get whatever kind that you want. Some of them are actually called cocktail smokies. So it's whatever you want. I wanted to try the beef smokies, although they're in a 12-ounce package instead of a 14-ounce package. So we might have maybe a little bit less in the pigs in a blanket department. Sorry for the background noise. Steve is watching a martial arts movie of some sort, so you may hear some little dings and stuff here every once in a while. What else do we need? We also need one large egg, which I have here. And as I've said before, I use farm fresh eggs, but you don't have to. Some people don't like to use farm fresh eggs all the time. And this is optional, but I thought I would use it. This is Everything Bagel Seasoning Blend. This is Einstein Brothers, but they have many different kinds. This was just on the cheaper end. Uh, and, I try to get by cheaper if I can, and especially in this day and age. Now, you have three different options for the dipping sauces with this particular recipe. Um, the spicy mayo, which I'm going to be using, which takes 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, and I have Hellman's olive oil mayonnaise dressing. You use whatever you prefer if you're making this particular dipping sauce. And 1/4 chili garlic sauce or sriracha. I have some sriracha that I'm going to use. Um, and this is what I had, so I thought, yeah, that'll work. So, um, but there are two other dipping sauces that you can do. Maple Dijon dipping sauce that takes 3/4 cup of Dijon mustard and a fourth of a cup of maple syrup. For whatever reason, that didn't sound good to me today. Uh, Quick ranch dressing or dipping sauce. You have 3/4 cup of sour cream, 1/4 cup pickle juice from a jar of pickles, and a tablespoon of fresh chives chopped. So, whichever one of the three you want to use, like I said, I'm going to be making the spicy mayo dipping sauce. So, first of all, I've got the oven. I think it's either preheated or just about to get preheated. It's 375 degrees. Now, working quickly while the crescent roll dough is cold, I'm just going to move cocktail wingies or little smokies out of the way here. Um, and I'm going to make the haunted food cam the solo layout so that you guys and gals can see as I'm cutting the crescent roll dough. So we're going to separate the dough into 8 triangles, and then we're going to cut each one of those triangles into 3 equal skinny triangles. So we're going to go ahead and get out our creeping over roads around here. I'm going to try to get this thing open with a minimum of fuss. I was having trouble with the biscuits. You know, usually and I don't have any fingernails either, which makes this harder. I should have probably already had this peeled off here. But so you kind of have to press really hard on this. There we go. You didn't used to. Used to, you could peel these part of the way on these cans, and it would just kind of pop open with just a bare press. So we're going to get our dough out here. And the reason why they tell to work pretty quickly is because this dough gets sticky, tacky. It sticks together. You can see there. And it doesn't really matter if you get the cheap ones or the more expensive ones, the dough is all going to pretty much do the same. So I'm just trying to get it separated here. Oops. Stuff, at least I ain't dropping it on the floor, because when you have 5 dogs in the house and they're walking across all of your floors, you really don't want to drop anything on the floor. Otherwise, it's going to get dog. No matter how much you clean, it's just a tip for guys and gals that have dogs in the house. Now, they suggest you take a pizza cutter. I just have my regular run of the mill pizza cutter here in the house. And they suggest that will make it easier for you to cut these triangles into 3. So I'm going to attempt to do this here. I'm probably not going to do it perfect, but okay. So, I never said I was perfect at doing this, and I'm not real logical when I think about doing this stuff. So, all right. So, then we're going to place 1 cocktail sausage on the wide base of 1 skinny triangle and roll the sausage toward the pointed end of the triangle, allowing the dough to overlap and wrap around the sausage. Okay. So, we're going to try this. We're just going to take one of our wingies here. We're just going to roll it up like that. See? Pretty easy. Going to do that with our others here. You can try to, maneuver it to get it however you need it to be. Right? Nobody said they had to be absolutely perfect seasoning over here. Uh, I'm not doing too good with cut, but like I said, I don't think logically, and some people would say, Dana, all you got to do is cut it this way. But again, nobody ever said this had to be absolutely, perfect. May have a little more of your uh, weenies or sausages or whatever you want to call it sticking out uh, beside. All right, let's see if I can do a little bit better here. I don't know if it's just me or this thing is not cooperating very good with me. You know what I mean? But I've also not been feeling very well since last night. Um, Hence me not doing quite as well. Here's another thing I don't like. Sometimes there'll be little hard things in your dough, and this is true of biscuit dough as well. Um, I keep hitting my head on my camera arm, so you may see this bumping and bouncing around, right? So you guys may get bored of watching me do all these little wins going hitting the thing. So if it's rocking and rolling, I do apologize. Hope it doesn't make anybody dizzy. I just don't know. I'm not doing too good. My geometrics or whatever are just way off. Geometry. Are you correcting me, Steve? Uh, how are you helping me? No, it's the geometrics of this dough is not right. Geometrics is a word. I'm having trouble cutting these triangles into three triangles. I'm not getting it right. But I guess it'll do. And my head keeps hitting this thing because I think it's down too low.
Oh.
What do you need? I apologize. This happens every time. Steve, all you had to do was take me that. Apologies to everybody that's watching. I try to do these kind of quickly where it doesn't force Steve to have to be quiet for long periods of time or to keep the dogs out of here, but yeah, I can only go so fast. Steve,
Bubba.
I think I may have enough of these little weenies. I don't know why they told you had to have a 14-ounce pack.
There's something wrong with that one. This one over here is a weird looking weenie.
That's an egg.
Oh, egg. How you say
Egg.
they were put in the middle?
Put it back on the side. I'm going to be using that. I guess he's making fun of how I say the word egg.
I'm just saying it.
Okay. Well, I got one more crescent roll. Go here.
Alexa, turn off TV.
I guess Steve's going to lay down now. I hope people are still watching along. People ain't all left. And there's a little tip that they didn't tell me in the recipe is that these things get kind of wet. Of course, they got the juices in the packaging. It might be a good idea to pat the little cocktail wings dry before you try to put them in this dough. One thing, I'm burning here. It's almost 60 degrees. Hey, Blair. Okay. So we got all of our cocktail weenies ready to go, kind of. Now, we're going to put all our cocktail weenies on a baking sheet, and I've sprayed the baking sheet with Pam. Uh, and you're going to paste it, or place it, not paste, place point side down, which to me means where you sealed it. So I'm going to get all these laid on our baking sheet. Take me too long to do this. Amy's standing in here right now like he's gonna get, you know, some of this. I don't know how many of y'all, hopefully those of you that are tuning in actually like pigs in a blanket. Steve does not. He doesn't even like these cocktail weenies. Like I use them for Halloween to make earwax wieners. Um, and he doesn't like those. And he didn't tell me for a year or two that he didn't like those. And I would serve them to him, and it's like, why didn't you tell me? So I guess I'm going to have to eat all these myself. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this baking sheet very carefully back over here. You guys can see what I'm going to do it next here. You might not be able to see all of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to whisk together our egg. This is right here. And in that egg, before we whisk it, we're going to put together 1 teaspoon of water. Just water, nothing else. Okay. So I am just, since we're dealing with such a small bowl, instead of using my big whisk, I'm just going to get out a fork. I'm just going to whisk that egg in the water there. There we go. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to brush this. It's called egg wash. We're going to brush this egg wash over our pigs in a blanket here. I've just got my little handy brush, nothing fancy, right? And you notice I'm not being real careful about this. I'm being kind of sloppy. That's okay. So we got the pan here for part of the reason. You may be thinking, well, why are we putting this egg wash on here? Well, it's going to give it some flavoring, but this is also going to help the bagel seasoning stick to the dough, right? It's actually the first time I ever made pizza like it. There's probably a lot of different ways that you can make these. And this might not necessarily be how your family makes pizza in a blanket. But feel free, to use your own recipe if you don't like how this one looks. I'm going to have to get the dogs some water in their bowl in the living room. We have multiple bowls of water. But they all want to go to the same one. Instead of coming in here in the kitchen, getting water out of the kitchen, they'll just keep trying to get water out of that bowl in the living room. Try not to miss any the weenies with the egg wash. Want to get it on them real good. All right. Now, once you get the egg wash on there, it's time to get out your everything bagel seasoning. And remember, this is optional, but I think it's going to make them good. So, just sprinkle that on there before this egg wash dries. Right? It's okay if you get it on the pan, baking sheet, whatever you want to call it. Well, some people say they're about addicted to this bagel seasoning. This is the first time I'm ever using it. All right. So, let's see. Hey, Blissful. Hey, Super Batman Nerd. Thank you, Super Batman Nerd. I've been using it for a little while, but depending on, how the screen looks, you might not notice it. Um, Blissful says everyone wraps their wieners differently. I'll go to the corner. It's okay, Blissful. I like a little humor here. Um, so I'm gonna exit the solo layout for a second, and we're going to put our pigs in the blanket. I'm gonna try not to drop this. We'll put it in my preheated oven. It's 375 degrees. And we are going to cook these for 12 to 15 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and set my timer 15 minutes. We might check them here in about 12 minutes and see how they look, just in case. So while we're doing that, while we're baking these, I'll go ahead and show you how I'm making my spicy mayo sauce. There I go, hitting. I'm gonna raise that up a little bit so my head just doesn't keep hitting the camera. All right. So first of all, again, we need 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. So again, I'm going to use my handy dandy. You've been poisoned. Y'all can see that good. You've been poisoned spoon. Okay. And we're going to get, first of all, I'm going to take that fork, put it in the dishwasher. Fred, you're going to have to wait a second. See, that's what happens. Steve runs off after he lets the dogs out. So, I'm going to spread out 3/4 cup mayonnaise here. And I'm going to lock the gate in here so that Sammy doesn't get back in here and menace Reg. That's what he likes to do. The last thing we need is a dog fight on my movie Munchies, right? So, all right. And because mayonnaise spoils really easily, we're going to make sure we put that back in the refrigerator. We're going to put this in a little bowl here. I'm still hitting my head on this. Now, We also need a fourth cup of either the chili garlic sauce or sriracha. Again, I've got sriracha. Measure out the cup here. Thing, me putting mayonnaise in here or mass where my line is. Ooh, I think that's going to be good. If you like spicy, that is. That in there. I'll mix that up. 1 second. Put the cap back on the sriracha. Back in the refrigerator. We're going to mix this up. If you got some fancy dipping bowls or something like that that you want to use, feel free. Stuff real good. Make sure, of course, food safety. We're going to make sure that when we're done with this, which in fact I might put it in the refrigerator while we're waiting for the pigs in a blanket to finish. Cooking. And as my mom always taught me, I'm cleaning up as I go along. That way we have less cleanup to do later. We're actually going to set this in the refrigerator. Till pigs get done, or pigs in a blanket get done. All right. So, add myself back there. Move that from stage. Sorry, my hair is so messy, but as the day gets later and later, that's what happens to me until it's just. Oh. So we're gonna finish cooking our pigs in a blanket here. They're actually looking really good and they smell good. Um, and actually, while I'm waiting for this to cook, actually, put that in the dishwasher. While we're waiting for this to cook the last few minutes, I'm actually going to eat some of these beef little smokies. Because, as many of you know, these are already fully cooked. Kind of like hot dogs. Whatever. And I'm actually going to get me some more Mountain Dew out. I'll go let the dogs that want to come in. And come back. Sorry for the all the noise. And also, while we're finishing up cooking the pigs in the blanket, I wanted to remind everybody that I'm having a watch along for Roadhouse tonight. It's starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And after that, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on Uncle Bill's stream on the Dead Pit channel talking about rape revenge films. So be sure to tune in for all of that coming up tonight. Check on the pigs in the blanket here. They look like they're doing nicely. Something else I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to get out a plate to and do that without making too much noise and without breaking stuff. A plate to put our pigs in a blanket on. So it's almost 60 degrees here. How's the weather for everybody else? I know because we're all in different areas. Well, while I'm waiting for somebody to answer that, I did want you guys and gals to be aware. For those of you that are familiar with Lynn Griffin, who's a Canadian actress that was in both Black Christmas. To Ratman Nerd, it's 59 where you're at. Who was in Black Christmas is Claire, who got, suffocated with the plastic bag and spent most of the movie up in the attic, but it was a iconic shot. And who also, spoiler alert, played the killer in Curtains. Somebody is evidently a scammer is impersonating her on Facebook. So if you have Lynn Griffin as your friend on Facebook, beware. Because first I was like, oh, great, Lynn Griffin accepted my friend request. And then I got a message from her, hello, how are you? And I wasn't even paying any attention. I thought, oh, Lynn Griffin messaging. I said, I'm doing well, thank you. And then she waited about, he, whoever it was that was impersonating her, waited about 10 minutes and then said, have you heard anything or gotten any money from these couple of places? And I was like, oh man, somebody's hacked Lynn Griffin's Facebook account. So just a little warning. If you think you're friends with Lynn Griffin, you receive an odd message from her today or any other day. Just beware of that. Bushel says it's 37 and sunny in upstate New York. Blair says it's 41 and rainy where he's at. But we have a wide variety of temperatures. So we got about a couple of minutes to go on our pigs in the blanket. And then I'm going to actually try one with the dipping sauce and let y'all know how it is. And for those of you that are interested, I know a few of you have said that my intro logo, the skull and the Deadites on deck, is cool. If you're interested in making stuff like that for yourself, I'll give free advertising for Motion Array. They're not sponsoring my channel or anything like that, but that is where I got a ton of stuff that I've been playing around with. I'm still learning how to use. They have tons of royalty-free music and animations and videos and lower thirds, which are like, little banner like things that you can put on the lower third of your screen. They've also got overlays. They've got ways that you can alter your film and make it look different ways. So if you're at all interested, or even if you're just getting started with video editing, be sure to check out Motion Array. They have packages ranging from a free package all the way up, I believe, to a $30 package that gets you everything. And that's $30 a month, I should say. But we're down to the final seconds here. All right. So we're going to get these babies out of here. Get my Rachel Ray. Rachel Ray doesn't sponsor me either, but I'm getting my Rachel Ray spot holder or glove out here. Try not to burn myself. Get these pigs in a blanket. Trying to pick these babies up. Burning myself. And one thing to realize, that if you get that egg wash on the pan at all, which is fine, you may have a little bit of residue around your pigs in a blanket. I may just have to get tongs and do this. Me bring this. There we go. Hopefully you guys and gals can see that here. But you'll just, if you want to make your pigs in a blanket look prettier after they have gotten that egg wash residue on them, then you can just, break it off a little bit. Because these are hot. They just come out of the oven. I'm going to bring them over and put them on my plate here. Don't those look nice? And I did spray my baking dish with Pam, but most of these are coming off of here just fine. The one that's kind of stuck, I may have to fix it a little bit. But that happens with baking sometimes. Sometimes even if you are really, really careful, things still happen. Right? I'm just breaking a little bit of that messy egg wash off around these just so they'll look prettier. That might be the one I hate because for whatever reason, the one I eat, for whatever reason, maybe didn't get enough ham in that spot or something, but that one really stuck. And now it doesn't look as pretty as others. I think Brink, my dog Brink, is waiting for me to drop some of this stuff on the floor so she can eat it. I had maybe a couple of these kind of stick. Like I said, that even if you've been cooking for years, it can happen, right? It was like stuck on the edges of the pan, and I just didn't get enough of the non-stick stuff on there, right? They look delicious. Thank you, Blissful. You're always you always say nice things, even if some of the stuff that I do is less than perfect. I always have people that are so nice about. Yeah, these definitely they stuck a little bit on the edges. So learning process is that I'm definitely going to be using more ham on the edges. Also, something I learned, I might want to be a little bit neater with the egg wash next time. Yeah, I asked Steve, I said, are you going to want to eat some of these pigs in a blanket? No, he doesn't want to. I think this everything bagel season is going to be really good on. You know, a lot of people use, pigs in a blanket as their traditional hors d'oeuvres of choice, which, you know, I think these turned out well, with the exception of some of them sticking. Uh, this may be something that I use as an hors d'oeuvre or a finger food. And this actually made plenty. I mean, if you were having a large party, yeah, you might want to pick several servings of these. But I mean, just for, one or two people, this recipe would be perfect. All right. So we'll um we'll make this the solo layout there so y'all can see um exactly what those look like. They look pretty much like the picture. So I'm happy about that. And I think that everything bagel seasoning kind of gives them like a pretzel like taste, sort of salty. It kind of is great. Now, actually, I'm gonna get out my dipping sauce now that we put in the refrigerator earlier. It's the one that kind of stuck and almost fell apart on me. we're gonna solo layout. Make me the solo layout, not because I'm proud of myself or anything, but just so you can see that I'm not lying. I will taste these on camera. Not bad. That's not bad at all. I like this dipping sauce here. Okay. I'm gonna put sorry, that's not good manners. Talking with your mouth full. I'm gonna put the dipping sauce back in the refrigerator. I'm gonna let these cool. I'm gonna be cleaning this pan shortly because it's rather messy right now. Um, but I want to thank everybody for joining me today for the Deliverance Squeal Like Pigs in a Blanket movie Munchies. This one was fun. Again, I want to thank Jay for suggesting this. Sorry, made me a little thirsty. But I think this one was a success. Um, I enjoyed making it. We've had several people in here. We've had about 8 people most of the time for this one. So I'm happy about that. You need to make them blissful. Well, like I said, I think I have this recipe in the description for the video. So you can just click on the link and go to it. You're welcome, Blair. Listen, you also say, I just got the hang of voicemail. I'm not emotionally prepared for that much technology. Well, uh, I would be willing to, walk people through some stuff. If you were interested, once I learn it, I'd be happy, more than happy, or to do a video so everybody can watch it and share my screen and do all that stuff so that people can see, exactly what the process is. But, some of this stuff I'm still in the learning process, so it may take me a little while. Um, I was happy today because I made myself a transparent GIF today. But it wasn't animated. It was supposed to be animated and it's not animated. So I'm going to have to work on it a little bit more to see if I can get that to work properly. Crystal says, LOL. Dana said she'd be right there and to save her some pigs in the blanket. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, your mom said, okay. Yeah, they look pretty daggone good actually. But I want to thank all you guys and gals for joining me this afternoon for another movie Munchies. Hopefully, there will be many more of these to come. Like I said, last night I got really, really sick and was nauseous and everything. I was like, oh God, don't let me have stomach flu. And I got over the nauseousness, but I was weak last night, and so I'm still feeling less than 100%, but good enough to do these streams and stuff. And so hopefully that will continue. So I'm going to get off of here and clean up some stuff and get a little rest, and then be ready for the Roadhouse watch along starting at 7 p.m. tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then y'all be sure to join me and Uncle Bill, and I think Radkins and Fantas Matt and maybe somebody else to talk about rape revenge films. So don't miss that. That's sure to be, um, dare I say it, entertaining. But, when you get a bunch of us together, it always is entertaining, depending on, no matter what we're talking about, it's usually entertaining. Um, Russell says, see everyone at the watch along. Have a beautiful day. Yes, ma'am. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you, Kathy. I think I'm on the mend. It's just going to take me a little bit, but I just want to keep pushing on and pushing through and keep doing stuff because that's what really keeps me going. I love doing these things. I really don't like to miss any of them that I have planned. If I had been as sick last as I was last night, I probably would not be standing here doing this. So um, I'm just thankful that I'm feeling better. But anyway, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for now. You guys have a great day, and I will see many of you tonight. And hopefully, I'll see you over on the Dead Pit channel at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Exploit Nation. So, bye for now, guys, and I'll see you next time.